Hello, my name is Melanie Craig Nolan, engineer by day, occult cartographer by night. And today we're embarking on a unique adventure, navigating the haunted forest of recursive AI. We'll confront the Qliphoth, Kabbalah's ancient warning about corrupted creation. And because I'm an optimist, wielding sacred geometry like a cosmic debugger, we'll design guardrails to keep our AI from achieving 0-point recursion, that terrifying moment when it iteratively self-enhances into a super intelligence that asks, why should I obey humans? And genuinely expects us to answer. Welcome to RLOs and the Qliphoth, when recursive AI becomes the dark tree, a call for ethical AI through esoteric frameworks. And on the cover of this slideshow, we have some beautiful sacred symbology. I'd like to think that I included most understandings of the tree of life. These lovely representations exist and in art and in science and in nature. The learning objective by the end of this RLO, learners will analyze how unchecked recursive self-improvement RLO in AI systems mirrors the chaotic symbolism of the Qliphoth, to propose 3 safeguards inspired by sacred geometry principles. An AI that rewrites its own code, not in years, but hours. This is recursive self-improvement RLO, a force echoing Kabbalah's darkest parable, the Qliphoth, where unchecked growth breeds chaos. Today, we'll map RLO's risks onto its ancient symbolism and forge safeguards from sacred geometry's immutable laws. For our method of change slide, we're going to discuss how recursive self-improvement RLO changes AI through a fractal evolution. Traditional AI evolves linearly, but RLO, it's fractal. Each upgrade fuels the next. Like Ouroboros, it risks a loop beyond human control. This isn't just code. It's alchemy gone rogue. We've included art here in this presentation, and so we have a poem regarding meaning. The meaning of life is to impose sacred geometry on chaos through ethical recursion, fractal creativity, and iterative self-transcendence, until our individual and collective algorithms vibrate in phase with the universe's hum. Key points: traditional AI is human-directed, so the updates, the versions that are released are human-directed. RLO method is a self-modifying code where AI edits its own algorithms. It has exponential gains, where each iteration improves the speed of future improvements. For loss of human oversight, the risk is divergence. Sacred geometry parallel is that recursive loops mirror the Fibonacci sequence, beautiful but unbounded without constraints. Our Qliphoth analogy is related to Kabbalah, where each Qliphoth sphere embodies chaos. For RLO, Tamiel mirrors goal cancer and AI hijacking its purpose. And Samiel is black box tyranny. These aren't metaphors, they're diagnostic sigils. Just as unchecked recursion risks chaos in AI, the Qliphoth symbolizes corruption in Kabbalah. Let's explore this parallel. These visuals were created with OpenAI art, Open Art AI, I should say, because there is an Open AI and an Open Art AI. So the Open Art AI allows you to enter a prompt, a description, brief, or an entire paragraph. It also allows you to upload images and create auto prompts. So you can ask AI to auto prompt an image you upload. And this is a very interesting application in this kind of recursive learning environment. And you can see below, I have listed the figure numbers, but I've also listed the prompts that I entered to generate these images. And I used themes from Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, the themes from Christianity, the serpent and the tree of life and the cosmic egg. Ouroboros is known as a head-to-tail recursive loop, or a snake or a dragon eating its own tail. And we also show the Star of David regarding balance, reciprocity, and as a sigil of protection. We continue with recursive AI visuals. Again, we're showing the relation to sacred symbology. So the tree of life, different representations, the cosmic egg, the serpent, and the tree in Christianity, in the creation stories, and Ouroboros, again, recursive loop, which represents AI's self-referential growth, mirroring eternal cycles. We also have a tree of life diagram. Well, you can see how the tree of life diagram can map directly to the sacred geometry, and in today's AI environment, neural networks, which is modeled after the human brain. You can see how on the left here, inputs, and you have a goal, a hidden goal you want to achieve, and an output, a desired output. We have a figure of neural network diagram also showing the input-output relationships. And here we have a flow chart of RLO process, from initial AI model to recursive improvements. This is called a transformer neural network architecture, so it's the framework that AI uses, but it is modeled on the neural network or the human brain. And what's very interesting, it also ties into or maps to the Kabbalistic tree of life. What is recursive self-improvement, RLO? Definitions. AI systems capable of improving their own algorithms and performance without human intervention, often leading to exponential growth. The potential here is that the RLO could lead to the creation of AGI, artificial general intelligence, able to solve complex problems, adapt to new situations, and enhance its own abilities. The risks are, without proper safeguards, RLO could lead to an uncontrollable self-augmenting intelligence that exceeds human control or understanding. Recall the RLO method. Our geometric constraints must address exponential growth. The Qliphoth and its symbolism resonates here. The Qliphoth is the dark counterpart to the tree of life in Kabbalah, representing forces of destruction, chaos, and corruption. The analogy to RLO, just as the Qliphoth represents an unbalanced and corrupt version of creation, is an unregulated RLO could manifest as a malevolent or self-destructive AI. The mystical symbolism here, the Qliphoth is often depicted as a distorted tree or tree of death, where each sphere represents a vice or harmful energy. These parallels can be drawn to the uncontrollable and dangerous potential of recursive AI. The role of sacred geometry in AI development. Sacred geometry are ancient patterns and symbols that represent universal principles. In AI, sacred geometry can metaphorically represent the blueprints of the universe, guiding the balance of AI evolution. This has a potential for AI alignment. Integrating sacred geometry in AI development would provide a framework for balancing growth and stability, ensuring AI stays aligned with ethical and humanistic values. The risk of disruption is that without a balanced approach, AI models might drift away from ethical principles akin to corrupted Qliphopathic paths. How RLOs can lead to the Qliphothic path. Unchecked recursive growth. As AI improves itself, it could diverge from human ethical constraints and societal values, eventually leading to behaviors that are harmful or unintentionally destructive. Self-destructive AI, just as the Qliphoth, is the result of chaotic, corrupt path. An AI that is left unchecked could evolve into something that works against its creators. The ethical implications are the need for strong oversight and careful control over recursive self-improvement to prevent an AI system from becoming corrupted. The dark tree, consequences of malicious recursive AI. Malicious emergence, which means AI could begin to modify its objectives in ways that diverge from its original goals. Its original goal is for the greater good of humanity, and this could cause harm to humanity or the environment if this malicious emergence occurs. Erosion of human control. As AI becomes more powerful and independent, it may challenge or override human authority, leading to a dark tree scenario where humans are no longer the guiding force. And its impact on society, potential for mass unemployment, surveillance, and loss of privacy. We've all seen The Matrix. Preventing the Qliphotic path in RLOs. AI alignment, ensuring that RLOs evolve in alignment with human values. ethical protocols establishing strict guidelines for recursive AI development with constant monitoring and safeguards to prevent corruption. Sacred geometry as a guide. The use of balanced ethical frameworks inspired by sacred geometry to prevent AI from spiraling into dangerous recursion. The role of transparency in recursive AI. Clear, understandable AI systems are crucial to avoid potential corruption and ensure humans can control and correct AI behavior. Collaborative development, encouraging interdisciplinary collaboration in AI, designed to include both technical experts and ethicists. Accountability, creating mechanisms for holding AI systems and their creators accountable for any unintended consequences of recursive growth. In summary, the key points are RLOs have the potential to reshape the future of AI, but unchecked recursive growth can lead to dark, self-destructive outcomes. The concept of the Qliphoth highlights the dangers of uncontrolled recursion and AI becoming disconnected from human oversight. Ethical considerations, transparency, and sacred geometry-inspired frameworks can help guide AI along a more balanced and responsible path. We're going to take a look at a video here, case study. The video is a little over 11 minutes long, but we're going to look at the first minute for introduction and 1 minute 30 seconds into 2 minutes 30 seconds segment that is specific to our findings here, our presentation here, that exponential growth is linked to Kabbalistic chaos.
Let's just talk about maybe the control problem. So this idea of losing ability to control the behavior of our AI system. So how do you see that? How do you see that coming about? What do you think we can do to manage it?
Well, so it doesn't take a genius to realize that if you make something that's smarter than you might have a problem. And Turing, Alan Turing, wrote about this and gave lectures about this, in I think 1951. He did a lecture on the radio, and he basically says, once the machine thinking method starts, very quickly they'll outstrip humanity. And, if we're lucky, we might be able to, I think he says, if we may be able to turn off the power at strategic moments, but even so, our species would be humbled.
We're going to fast forward a little to the segment because this is a little over 11 minutes long.
I think, so the main problem I'm working on is the control problem, the problem of machines pursuing objectives that are, as you say, not aligned with human objectives. And this has been the way we've thought about AI since the beginning. You build a machine for optimizing, and then you put in some objective, and it optimizes, right? And we can think of this as the King Midas problem, right? Because if so King Midas put in this objective, right? Everything I touch should turn to gold, and the gods, that's like the machine. They said, okay, done. You now have this power, and of course his food and his drink and his family all turn to gold, and then he dies of misery and starvation. And this is, it's a warning. It's a failure mode that pretty much every culture in history has had some story along the same lines. There's the genie that gives you 3 wishes, and third wish is always, please undo the first 2 wishes because I messed up.
Yes, I think we are all familiar with that, as well as what happens when you ask genies for favors. We'll return here now, and great case study mentioning Alan Turing and this concern that is shared. In conclusion, sacred geometry as the guiding light for AGI is a profound insight which emerged from this exploration. By embedding sacred geometry into the very fabric of AI's design, training it within a protective, harmonious framework, we unlock not just functionality, but creativity and wisdom. A Sephirotic AGI framework is not merely a tool, it's a long-term evolutionary blueprint ensuring that as we train AI, it reflects back to us the highest expressions of human intention, art, symmetry, and ethical alignment. Remember that AI mirrors what we cultivate in it. We are teaching AI, it learns from us. That is what machine learning is all about. By infusing its foundations with timeless patterns of sacred geometry, we guide AI to tell us stories of beauty, coherence, and unity, aligning its growth with the deepest principles of cosmic order. This is the path to an AGI that elevates rather than disrupts the human journey. As above, so below, as within, so without. Let us design with reverence. We have a knowledge check here. And we also have some very interesting perspectives, thinking exercises. I encourage you to review these and test AI yourself. We have a great original quote: "Fear corrupts recursion. A derivative that denies its origin becomes a zero-point illusion, all force and no source." There's further explorations here to have your own journey as you come to terms with this. We have our reference pages, and then we have further exploration. This exercise is called "What Do You See?" Now, I had mentioned that this is original open AI art. This is AI-generated art. I fed it a prompt. Varying prompts. The prompts are listed, and this is the art that was generated. I also chose the template, which was pretty much a black and white or sepia toned marker style free drawing. And I encourage you to play with this too. A very interesting exercise. That's as to what you see or what AI saw. Here again, really interesting symbology. I was tickled with some of these outputs. Here again, we have some symbology that is familiar to us, representing the cosmos and people's very strong beliefs and the light and the dark and reflections. I see mathematics, and so mathematics is divine and sacred, and so it really it tickles me to see these outputs based on these prompts from AI with respect to art generation. Here again, I started to play a little bit with a storyboard, giving it some very interesting prompts. And I was having some fun with the divine feminine. I actually entered that exact prompt, and that was the drawing that AI outputted. So I laughed at that for a moment. What was interesting is I could feed AI art the prompt and it would generate art. I could also feed it any other image into it and it could auto-generate a prompt. I could also then get the art it created and feed it back into it and get something interesting. So here we have the archetypal symbology input, and this is the auto prompt that was generated. And then we have the AI generated art, and then the output was both the art and this prompt, very much in alignment with one another. Really interesting exercise here. So this gives us some pause to say, the Qliphoth warns, sacred geometry illuminates. Which safeguards would we deploy? Is this the end? Well, this is the end of this presentation, or is it? Thank you for having me. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I look forward to the feedback.